Imagine you just locked up a $70,000 real estate wholesaling deal. Think about the emotions you get in that. The rush of excitement, you just got that deal. That $70,000 is going to be absolutely killer for you in a real estate wholesaling business. What would you do if 3 days later, another wholesaler locks up that contract, files paperwork with the court to cloud the deal from you closing, and basically tell you to bleep off that you're a stupid kid and you're about to lose a $70,000 wholesaling deal? What would you do? What's up, guys? Zach Ginn, Flip with the Rick here. And yes, this was me 7 months ago. No lie. This is the absolute truth. Somebody in my local market here in Port St. Lucie tried to steal a $70,000 spread from me. And they basically just said that I was too young to be understanding real estate and they thought they could steal the deal from me. So in this video, I'm going to give you a story and really the most important lesson you can do. I'm going to actually show you how to save your $70,000 real estate wholesaling spreads. And I'm going to show you exactly what I did in the state of Florida to protect myself from this deal getting stolen. I did not want to release the story. I thought the other person involved here was going to sue me. After talking to some people, I figured out that I really can't get sued for doing a video like this if I don't say names or places or the correct date. So the date here is going to be a month off on purpose. With these parameters, I can share the closest thing to this story. Again, I'm not a lawyer, legal counsel. This video is for entertainment purposes only. But this is the true story of another wholesaler trying to steal a $70,000 deal from me. Before I give you this is just, oh my gosh, this story it gets me angry and it gets me happy at the same time because this deal did close. I did make $70,000 on it. I was unfortunately unable to do a video because I didn't want to get sued. But basically, before I get into it, please smash that like button and subscribe. It helps the YouTube algorithm here so I can get in front of more people so we can fulfill our mission here at Flip with Rick, which is to help you get your first $100,000 per year in profit in real estate wholesaling absolutely for free with this YouTube channel. All right, guys, so here's the story. This is what actually happened. I am not lying. The only things I've changed in this story so I don't get sued is the date is off. So let me paint the picture for you. So this is about 7 months ago. I was still going on appointments basically during this time, and this was before I had an acquisitions manager, and I was in Port St. Lucie, Florida at the time, and I got a call from a direct mail basically stating that, hey, I saw your offer on your postcard and I want to accept it. I'm ready to go close. And basically, I go meet her as soon as possible because in Port St. Lucie, Florida, it's one of the most saturated markets in Florida. I have to meet the seller as soon as possible, build that rapport, and get the deal locked up. So I condition the seller, basically all good to go. I go in there. It's a rougher, older looking house here in Port St. Lucie. And basically, at the end of the day, I got the property locked up for $100,000. And I knew for a fact this thing was definitely had an ARV around 220, 230. It needed some repairs. I'm not lying. It had actually a pretty nice blue pool, but really the most I could sell that thing with a cash buyer was probably 160, 150. It needed some work, but it's a $50,000 wholesaling spread, and kind of did the numbers, and I said I could make like 65, 70K at this deal if I actually do some wholesaling, fix it up, fix the piping issue that's in the kitchen, and I could probably sell this thing and could probably sell it for like 185 if I put the numbers in it, and with closing costs and everything, the actual profit was 70K if I actually looked at it, and all in all, spoiler alert, I did make 70K on the deal, but on the 15th, I locked it up on a Friday. And so I talked to the seller. We have a great rapport. She actually gave me a hug after signing the contract and basically signed that contract at about 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So basically what I did is I drove to the title company because I knew this was a killer deal. I wanted to make sure I had all my ducks in a row, make sure I was as legally protected as possible in this deal. Went there, dropped my $500 deposit, gave everything to the title company, had a nice paper trail that I got this thing locked up at this date for this price. Because I'm in Florida, which is a sunny place for very shady people. So on Saturday, called the seller, just making sure they're all good. I got everything in the title company, showed them my escrow letter, just showing them that, I'm still good to go on this. Basically, Sunday, I gave a text asking if there's any questions, and she said, no, everything's perfect. And then on Monday, I gave her one more phone call because I had one quick question about the pool, because I was going to wholesale this deal, and she didn't answer me. She immediately ghosted me. And this was really concerning for me because it was such a great deal, and I just locked it up. I was like, oh, shoot, what do I do? And basically, I texted her and called her, and she did not answer. And it was kind of concerning. Kind of got a little freaked out here. I'm like, I hope she's actually like medically okay. So I basically try to call and I get no answer. And what I do just to make sure is I call her from a different phone number and I call it and she answers it immediately. I said, hey, Sally, how's it going? This is Zach. Literally, what happens? Click. And I was like, this is really weird. So she said hello. I said, hey, this is Zach. How's it going? And she just clicked it. And that means she's ignoring me on purpose, which is not good. And I was like, oh no, this is not good. Either she wants out of the contract or she wants a better price. And honestly, if she wants to do that, hey, we can renegotiate the contract if I have to. But she was ignoring me on purpose. And I was like, this must mean someone's coaching her. Most likely in these situations, realtors go say, that wholesaler is a shady, terrible person. Don't deal with them. Only deal with me. Sign this listing agreement, blah, 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 blah. That's what I assumed. So basically, when I met her at the appointment, she said she had 5 other wholesalers and realtors coming, an hour after me. And basically, I got the thing locked up before because that's kind of what you have to do. So unfortunately, what really happened was the guy who was going after me on the appointment. So I actually locked this person. Let's just call him Donald Duck. Donald Duck decided to go, had the appointment set for 1 o'clock. And at 12:40, guess what? I got the deal locked up because I conditioned the seller. I had the rapport built and she trusted me and she was ready just to get rid of the property. Signed the thing at 12:40. And apparently, Donald Duck got a call from the seller basically canceling. And Donald Duck lives over an hour away. Donald Duck didn't live in Port St. Lucie or near there. So apparently Donald Duck was getting very sick of Zach, was getting very sick of me stealing his deals, more or less. And I was basically beating him out on all of his appointments. And the truth here is, I say this humbly, I was beating him out on a very high amount of deals just because of my rapport building and the way I can connect with people. And he was just so upset with me that he just wanted to really lash it out on me. So what he did is the seller canceled Donald Duck, and Donald Duck decided to go back home. Donald Duck waddled away, and he basically came back on Monday without an appointment with the seller, knocked on her door, and basically said that this is a 20-year-old kid you're dealing with. I was 20 at the time. I'm 21 now, but I was 20 at the time. And basically, he has no money. What kind of 20-year-old do you know has any money to buy a house? This guy is screwing you. He's a terrible person. His contract, because he's so young, isn't even valid. And he was just saying all this crazy stuff. He was lying out of his beak, and really he was not saying the truth. And he basically convinced this lady that a 20-year-old kid is physically impossible for a 20-year-old adult male to buy a piece of real estate. I don't know how this guy did it, but Donald Duck was a little older, so he had a lot of money also. Basically, he signed a contract with the seller for $130,000 on Monday at 11 a.m. And at 12 p.m., he went to the courthouse and filed a memorandum, an affidavit of equitable interest in the property. And this is when it gets very interesting, because that basically means, it screams to the world that, hey, I and only me, that says I signed a contract, and basically he did it before I could even thought of doing it. Basically stated, if you're trying to close on this property, I have an equitable interest and there is a title dispute on this property. And that was not good. That meant I could really not close this deal, and it was not good at all. So a memorandum, really quick, it just basically tells the world that you have an equitable interest in the property. So if this lady was going to list her house and she was trying to screw Donald Duck or me out of the deal, then the property would have a title dispute and they couldn't get title insurance, which would basically stop that realtor from listing the property, and they'd have to settle with me or basically settle Donald Duck on the property. And it just keeps us protected, more or less an insurance policy that we get paid on the deal if we get it locked up under contract. Now, I'm not a lawyer again. Memorandums vary state by state, and it's very important that you talk to a lawyer and know about those laws, because if you file a memorandum or affidavit of equitable interest without actually having a legally binding contract, sometimes if you don't even have a deposit, then you would be illegally clouding someone's title and you are liable for a lawsuit. So be very careful with this stuff. I have years of experience in this real estate wholesaling business, so I know what I'm doing here. So on Monday, she keeps ignoring me. So I just go in the courthouse and said, let me see if there's anything crazy or anything popped up. And I saw that memorandum. I had so much anger in my eyes. I don't think I've ever been that angry in an extremely long amount of time. And I basically saw that Donald Duck had a memorandum on that property. And on the memorandum, it actually stated that Donald Duck entered with Sally Sue an agreement on the 18th, basically on Monday. And so I knew, okay, so it seems like I signed it Friday, signed it Monday. Basically, he filed a memorandum here. So I'm going to have to get him to release that before I can even close. But that's not even the biggest issue. The biggest issue is the seller's actually ignoring me. The seller's ghosting me. So how do I deal with this situation? And basically what I had to do is I had to sit down in a chair and basically meditate for 30 minutes before I literally had a conniption. And I was going to call Donald Duck all angry. I didn't let my emotions get the best of me. This is what this guy wanted to do. So sat down, closed my eyes, meditated, and basically got out of there and just basically thought what I can do very calmly because someone is trying to steal $70,000 from me. Now, I was pretty calm in that situation. I know most people would start driving to that man's office and start screaming like crazy, but basically I had to think about a smarter way. What do you do? What would you do in this situation right now? So I basically thought the only thing I can do is basically stop this guy and file my own memorandum. So what I did was I went to the courthouse, filed a memorandum on there. So now there's two memorandums, and basically that means now Donald Duck can't close on the deal either, and now I can't close on the deal either. So now we're at a stalemate. And basically, someone has to release their memorandum for that thing to go down. So he has to release his memorandum, then I can go close on the property, or I have to release my memorandum and have him close on the deal. And I was actually thinking what he was probably going to do is basically try to settle with me for $15K and then make the 70 and just walk away. And honestly, that's what he was trying to do. But I don't play those games. And the seller was just under this guy's wing. She was going to make $30,000 more, and she was not having it with me. So I went to the seller's house, tried to have a conversation with her. She looked at me through the window and basically closed the blinds and just left and was just ignoring me. And I'm not a crazy person, so I just left the property. And I had to think of what to do. So basically what I did was I knew Donald Duck only uses one title company. And basically, I called that title company, said there's a title dispute. Please don't close on this property until it's resolved. And they got the alert, and they're like, we're not closing this until you get this done, Donald Duck. And he was ready to close it. Like, he was trying to close it on Tuesday. He was literally trying to close that thing as soon as possible, try to screw me out of this deal because he knew what he was doing was very unethical and probably borderline illegal. I alerted the title company literally when they were trying to get the closing all set up. I mean, a one-day closing's insane. So basically, I got it all done. So I basically stopped the title from the going, and basically, I sat down and I said, I got to call this guy, man-to-man conversation with Donald Duck here, and just get him to release his contract. I basically had the conversation with him, and I basically called him, and he answered it, and I got his phone number from good sources. And basically, I called him and said, hey, Mr. Donald Duck, I think the seller misrepresented herself in this situation. I actually got a contract on this on Friday. I know you actually have a contract and a memorandum on Monday, but unfortunately, I signed a contract before you. If you can, please do me a big favor and just release the memorandum. And he said, yeah, no problem, Zach. I'll release that memorandum. If you can you just please send me the contract that you actually had signed with Sally Sue, just so I can confirm that you got it signed. And if that's true, then I'll release it. And I said, fine. So I sent him over my contract, and I basically didn't get an answer for an entire different day. And I was taking the high ground there. I was like, you know what? I'm going to send you my contract to show you proof that this Sally Sue, who has the same signature as the one you signed. And honestly, I really believed him because I was just going at a nicer place. What he basically did from there, which puts a smile on my face, was he literally just wanted to know what contracts did I sign, and he wanted to use my contract ad copy because in Port St. Lucie, I have a very special contract that we've really done that's absolutely amazing, and we've spent years formulating this perfect contract, and he wanted it. So he basically did that as a way to do it, and he basically stole it. And basically, I knew that was a chance. So what I did was I exited. I literally blocked out everything in the contract except the signature, and that was it. And he said, Zach, I can't release this unless I get the full contract. You could have been photoshopping this. And I said, you know what? Fine. I sent him the full contract. This is a $70,000 deal. And he basically ignored me for another day. So it's been 2 days. I basically called him again and said, hey, Donald Duck, I thought I had your word that if I sent you the contract showing proof I had this under contract, you would release this. And he said, no, I was just trying to get your contract. You're just a bleeping kid. You don't know exactly what you're doing. You have no money to buy this deal. It's not a valid contract. And I'm so sick of kids like you trying to go up in my business. I've been doing this I've been doing this for 20 plus years and you think you know everything. This is my deal. Your contract's not even valid. And basically from there, I was a little more angry than I should have. And I basically said, Donald Duck, do you really want to play this game? And Donald Duck said, there's no game. You have no valid contract. You're too young and you don't even have the money to close on the house. I said, Donald Duck, look me up. I literally bought 5 properties last month, all cash. And he said, well, that's under a corporation, not your name, so I don't really believe you. I was like, you know what? I know this guy's game. So I just hung up with him, and I was like, what do I do in this situation? This is a $70,000 deal. I was like, I can't believe this Donald Duck is literally doing this to me. This Donald Duck guy has been investing in real estate for 20 plus years. Kind of insane. And he does have a bad reputation in the St. Lucie County market. So basically what I do at the end of the day, I had to hire a lawyer, probably spent over $1,000 basically giving very scary letters and requests. And I was ready to sue this dude. For $70,000, I was ready to take everything from this guy. And basically, he got the gist that this kid is not new and he does know what he's doing. He's got some money. And basically, he got very scared. He had hundreds of rental properties. And basically, he knew I could clean his clock on this. And basically, he released his memorandum and he basically said, I released my memorandum. Please don't deal with me ever again. He was super scared. And I thought, okay, that's it. Perfect. And then the seller magically is my best friend now, waiting for me to close because the Donald Duck guy told the seller that, hey, Zach's the guy going to close the deal for you. And then I was like, boom, got the deal. Fine. You know what? Whatever. I had to spend some money for a lawyer, getting this deal done. Donald Duck's out of my hair. Now, unfortunately, Donald Duck went to call the seller after I had the closing set and said that unfortunately, this 20-year-old kid scared me with a lawyer, so I'm not dealing with it. But when he eventually doesn't close, and he's not a truthful person, he's lying to your teeth, he's not going to close on this property, he's going to wholesale this deal from you, make sure you never let him in the property ever, and he won't close on your deal. So when he doesn't close on your deal, what I want you to do is just, actually right now, can you actually just shut him off and just don't close with him? And he basically kept telling her that, and she was like, no, I got to get this thing closed within a couple of weeks. And basically said, well, you know, he's not going to close your deal. So when he eventually fails and when you decide to actually get out of this deal like a smart person, you'll deal with me. And basically I had to sit down with the seller and really explain and show the proof that I actually closed on my deals. And eventually, after a month, on the date that the seller had to actually get out of it, I closed on the property for $100,000, sold it for $185,000, and made a $70,000 profit. This is the true story of a $70,000 profit deal that almost got stolen from me from Donald Duck. And I think it's absolutely amazing that someone would actually do that. But here's the truth. It happened. So the best way for you to protect yourself is to use memorandums very sparingly and use it in a situation that you need it. You got to be very smart with it. Some wholesalers do memorandums on every deal they do. Some don't. But the most important lesson I can teach you in this video is leave a paper trail. If you leave a paper trail, because if I went to court with this guy, the judge would say, Zach, present your contract. I present my contract. Is that contract really real? Because then they would say, well, he just backdated the date. Well, I actually have proof from a title company saying that I had an escrow in a deposit with that address. He basically knew he was going to lose that lawsuit, and I would have really gone after him for a lot of stuff. So he was liable for almost $70,000 in profits on that deal, which I could have attacked him pretty easily on. So he gave up. At the end of the day, we made the $70,000 very much of a mess, but it was fine. After everything, it all worked out. So the lesson for you is make sure you have a paper trail. Make sure that you're as protected as possible. And honestly, you're going to have to expect the unexpected. Wholesalers are going to try to steal your deals, and you got to be as protected as possible. So dealing with lawyers, talking to lawyers, and understanding how you can protect yourself when two wholesalers get a contract, get a thing locked up, and who can protect themselves and who actually has a legal right to actually assign that deal. It's extremely important. If you haven't seen this, you probably haven't been wholesaling long enough, because a wholesaler will try to steal your deal. There's a lot of greedy people out there, and they honestly just want to try to steal deals from you, and you just got to deal with it. So this is the story, the lesson from me. Hopefully you learned something in this, if at all, maybe entertaining, but this Donald Duck guy is completely scared of me now. So basically that's it, guys. That's how to protect your deals. This is the true story, 100%. I swear to you, this was absolutely one of the craziest deals that I've ever done. And after 7 months, I think enough time has passed where I can share this story with that Donald Duck guy was being quite the Neanderthal. And, that's all I can say about that. So I really appreciate you guys watching this video. If you got any value out of it, please smash that like button and subscribe. Thank you guys so much. Comment below what you would have done in this situation. Would you be calmer than me? Would you be a little more, let's say, fiery than me in this situation? But let me know what you have done. If you have any situations with wholesalers trying to steal your deals, I'd love to know. And really anything you can do to protect yourself and how you protect yourself from greedy wholesalers, let me know. Thank you guys so much and have a blessed day.